Hey there, this is Erica from Highland Hickory Designs. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be part 2 of the basic corner to corner stitch tutorial for this series. Now I recommend getting stitch markers and placing them on your 2 corners so you don't accidentally continue to increase. You'll know that you need to stop where your stitch markers are. So let's get started. So in the first video we ended on the 5th row. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work and we're going to slip stitch along this block to get to the chain 3 space. Now some people recommend slip stitching in between the stitches. You can do that as well if you don't want to slip stitch in the stitches. I've seen it both ways. Okay, so now we're going to build our blocks, and like I mentioned in the previous video, when we're decreasing, the number of blocks will decrease by 1 every time. So if row 5 has 5 blocks, row 4 will only have 4. 1 here, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's get started. You will not chain 6 at the beginning of the rows on decreases. You only chain 3, 2, 3, and you finish your block, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space, slip stitch into the chain 3 space of the next block, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space, slip stitch into the next block, locking it in, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 blocks. This will be our last. Slip stitch, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so since this is our last block and we don't want to go any higher because this is our corner, we will slip stitch to lock it into place, and that's it. That's all we're going to do. That's the end of row 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. So now we turn our work, and you want to slip stitch along the edge to get to the chain 3 space. And we're going to start row 7, which will only have 3 blocks. So chain 3, work 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space, okay, we are at our edge. We don't want to go any higher. There's 1, 2, 3 blocks. So we slip stitch in the chain 3 space. Row 7 is finished. Turn your work. Slip stitch along the edge. So for row 8, we're going to have 2 blocks. chain 3, three double crochets, slip stitch, final block, slip stitch into the final chain 3 space, 2 blocks for row 8, and now we finish off. We have 1 block left. Turn your work, slip stitch along the edge, chain 3, 3 double crochets, slip stitch into this block. Now some people finish off here, and that's perfectly fine. You'll just have a tail in the middle. But I prefer to turn my work, slip stitch all the way to the corner, just to get your complete corner to corner. And finish off. And there you have it. You have just completed a corner to corner swatch. Okay, so very quickly I wanted to tell you that there is an alternative to working the basic corner to corner stitches. Some people don't like the amount of holes that are in this fabric, which personally I don't mind them. But if holes bother you, there is a way to make it much tighter. Here, I'll show you. You see the holes here if you stretch it out. And this is the one that is done much tighter. The holes are much, much smaller. And I'll show you really quickly how to do that. So instead of starting every block with 6 chains, we're going to start with 5 chains. 3, 4, 5. And instead of working in the 4th chain from the hook, we're going to work in the 3rd chain from the hook. So you'll only have a chain 2 and 3 double crochets. Whoops. Last 2 chains, double crochet, double crochet. Okay, so your blocks will be 2 chains and 3 double crochets. So let's do the row 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 3rd chain from the hook, we'll work our double crochets. Turn your work, slip stitch in the chain 2 space, and instead of chaining 3 like we would normally do, we only chain 2, and then work our 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. So that's it. That's the only difference You start with a chain of 5, and at the beginning of each block you only chain 2, and that will give you the much tighter stitch. And it really doesn't affect the size very much. They're almost the same. And that's it. That's the alternative method for working the basic corner to corner stitch. If you thought this video was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.